Hello and welcome to our recorded seminar. My name is Eva Janebová, and together with Sonia Nikodimova and Nikki Vichikova, we would like to share with you our experience with developing international strategic partnerships at Masaryk University, among other from Muni 4.0 project. Due to the social distancing, only I will guide you through our presentation. But even though you will not be able to hear the voices of my dear colleagues, you will be able to see their work on your screens. Our topic concerns building multifaceted international partnerships that go beyond random academic mobility and exchange of a couple of students, as they seem to be the key to improving the quality of both research and curriculum at higher education institutions. Knowing how to develop partnerships is crucial for individuals to advance their academic careers, for departments to incorporate the international dimensions to their disciplines, and last but not least, for whole institutions, as international partnerships and alliances boost up knowledge production and move them in university rankings. Most of all, we believe that only international collaborations will enable us to find solutions to international global issues. As many universities do not have extra staff to support academics in partnership development, most academics need to seek out the knowledge in area of international education and build their international competencies in order to create meaningful and successful partnerships. Our webinar is intended to help them along the way. We have noted here that our project was completed before the COVID pandemic, and we used physical mobility of academics between the institutions as one of the means to build the partnerships. All along our project, we tried to maximize the impact, effectiveness and efficiency of academic mobilities, and we will share some of our ideas and learnings on that. We are hopeful that the challenge and necessity of virtual mobility during the time of travel bans will in the end make internationalization even more accessible to students and academics who otherwise would not travel. In this webinar, we will walk you through the following. Firstly, we provide some understanding on what it takes to call a partnership strategic, how they differ from single departmental Erasmus contracts focused on student exchanges. The why, what are the benefits of such partnerships, and who are the stakeholders that need to be involved, taking into consideration our experience in the context of a Czech university setting. We will finally provide you with some tips on how to do that. We have built our presentation around a concrete example of a partnership with Finnish University of Applied Sciences, JMK. It is actually a partnership between the teacher training colleges of these institutions, Faculty of Education at Masaryk University, and Teacher Education College at JMK. With this, we acknowledge the contributions of colleagues on both sides, as well as the financial support of the partnership from the European Commission. To introduce you to the idea of strategic partnerships, I would like to borrow a clear and concise definition from my colleague Chris Medelis, which points out that strategic partnerships go much beyond traditional Erasmus mobility, that they are multifaceted and involve a wide range of academic and service learning activities. They have initially been created as partnerships which have matured and grown in size and complexity during their existence. Strategic partnerships are also deep and mutually beneficial relationships. My conceptualization of strategic partnerships looks more like this, and it's only thanks to the visualization of the master skills of Sonia and Nikki. And I'm not allowed to go into details of the conceptualization, so I will just point out on the top right hand the teaching dimension, which was crucial dimension of our strategic partnership, as well as the internationalization of how we think. Collaboration with international partners was to help us think outside of the traditional scope. Our guiding principle was to involve more people in internationalization, make it more accessible and inclusive. Towards the end of the project, we were also challenged with how to make partnerships sustainable, even after the end of the funding of our support team. So why did we choose JMK to become our strategic partner? Well, apart from the gut feeling and human level connection that is important in any relationship, we already had this clear theoretical conceptualization and weighted our expectation of strategic partnership against the strengths and potentials of JMK. We also evaluated the partnership to date, the existing between small groups of academics on each side. We asked and learned that many JMK colleagues demonstrated their interest in further collaboration, and the dean of the school came to visit our institution, became excited about what we can offer to them, and hence committed to enhance the relationship. This chart shows how the partnership has grown over the scope of 20 years, from a random visit of one of our colleagues in 2000, then through Erasmus student exchange contract between single departments, into a more sophisticated project collaboration, still of single department. Later, more academic visits, workshops and discussion open to colleagues from other departments, which in engaging others and also the management into the idea of institution-wide partnerships. Still, due to how soloized the departments as well the academics operate, the milestone in elevating the relationship into the real interdisciplinary cooperation was marked by a jointly designed and jointly executed learning community event for academics from both sides. A group of 12 academics, we called the Traveling Circus, visited JMK in the fall of 2019. The diversity of participants cut basically across all levels of hierarchy of our faculty and also allowed our 6 discipline-based departments, not all of them, but just 6, to put their heads together and come up with new impactful interdisciplinary curricular projects, such as international teaching practice, open to all students, both at Masaryk and at JMK. The Traveling Circus to JMK, there are some features we would like to pinpoint about the Traveling Circus. Again, the interdisciplinary collaboration character, which proved paramount for our colleagues. Looking back at their experience, they underline that paradoxically, we had to fly to Finland to start to cooperate with each other. Well, we think there are definitely much less costly ways to start up and facilitate interdepartmental collaborations at home institutions than that. Nevertheless, our big takeaway regarding international education was that strategic partnerships are impossible to build without facilitating internal, cross-departmental and cross-sector collaborations at home institution. we try to respond to individual needs of all participants and adjusted the learning objectives connected to the exchange of their expertise on both sides. It might seem that a partnership just happens by itself over time, but it actually happens through lots of hard work. My colleague Sonia put this slide together as a reminder of the many hands that are behind successful partnerships. There are always drivers with a vision that excite and engage other academics. But academics are key enablers of internationalization. They're the ones who can internationalize their curricula, design joint courses, and co-author international publications. We learn that sometimes our key academics may not be in the leadership positions of the institutions, but they drive powerful change from the bottom up. But don't get us wrong, we acknowledge that if management demonstrates its commitment, it just helps a lot. And among the enablers are many other invisible hands who need to have the expertise in international education to overcome obstacles and find novel solutions to many problems that come up on the way. All these together need to participate on the road to a partnership. And the road starts with careful planning. The trust between visionaries is important because they need to step in for each other many times along the way, and also have to be strong in defending partnership ideas at home institutions on behalf of each other. Our planning, respectively designing phase of the traveling circus, took me and my colleague Harry some 5 months of back and forth communication on why, what, who, and how. The whole idea actually was sparked by a colleague at Masaryk University, Jana Kratochvílová, who once cited that only stealing a jet plane and flying everyone abroad can help our internationalization. But it took almost a year from that idea to figure out how to do it best without stealing the jet plane. In order to maximize the outcomes of the partnership and of our traveling circus venture, we organized pre-departure sessions. The aim of the pre-departure sessions was to get everyone on the same page with why and what we will do in Finland, to allow the mobility to be successful without losing precious time during the visit. We facilitating the mapping out of our strengths and of the potential benefits of collaboration for each individual as well as for all of us together. We also learned that the academic and non-academic colleagues have to be provided with clear information, instructions, and guidance in order to efficiently prepare for the visit. For us, the travel checklist has proven to be very useful. Communication platforms had to be established with this larger group of participants, especially with the different flight schedules and individual programs. It also proved to be a great way to keep the team spirit and get everyone excited about the experience. We had a Google Shared Drive for the organizational details and resources, and a new WhatsApp group for communicating on the go and for the team fun. This is how our 3-day program in Finland looked like. Each day had actually very simple learning objectives. The first day was about tuning up and learning about each other. The second day was carefully designed and tailored for individuals and small teams to dive deep into discipline-based discussions and exchanges of expertise. On the third day, we got together in a session planning trajectory of future interdisciplinary collaborations, and we had the management of JMK on board. You might be wondering about the two angels on the slide. These are my colleagues Sonia and Nikki, who provided us with their backup at home. They had to solve from the Czech Republic sprinkled ankles in Finland, or find roads to the ones who got lost on the way. We think that one of the undervalued pieces to most academic mobilities are the follow-up activities, the after-arrival steps that need to be taken in order to maximize the impact of the mobility by integrating it into the work of institutions. These follow-up activities are not just about dissemination, the dreaded phase of the Erasmus Plus projects, but the follow-up activities are key to keeping the momentum, in our case also the collaborative team spirit, and also are key in order to bring the ideas into action. So what we did, we together drafted an action plan. We organized traveling circus breakfasts after we came home and shared updates and supported each other. We kept the core of the emailing group and WhatsApp. We also managed to sign a new interdisciplinary Erasmus contract. We tried to support financial support for the future projects and provided trainings and resources to our colleagues, like this webinar. Looking back, we would like to share the many challenges we faced. The academic interdisciplinarity and administrative cross-sectoriality is hard to achieve due to the existing reality of the departments, mostly being siloed units competing over resources, good partners or mobilities. The lack of support from the top down makes the partnership harder to advocate for within the institution and make the partner hesitant to commit. The differences in organizational structures and academic cultures, like hierarchical versus collegial, make it harder for involved parties to navigate and to reach to their counterparts. The imbalance in partnership, this can involve unequal mobilities, such as the Czech students traveled to JMK, but very few students came over the years to Masaryk University. We found most difficult in the imbalance of the partnership for us was the differing mindsets. Our partner was looking for a mutual sharing of expertise instead of being just at the receiving end. There were many other challenges. For example, due to the busy academic schedules, the idea of involving themselves in more work makes academics on both sides reluctant to commit, even if they perceive the importance and benefit of internationalization. We learned that the better support participating academics get from the management, the more time they get to focus on the relevant tasks. Engaging key academics is just the beginning. In order to feel well equipped, lots of pre-departure preparations had to be stressed out, like presentation skills had to be polished, and many other things had to be done. The list of the obstacles is definitely not complete. And sometimes we just found ourselves overwhelmed. In order to survive, we started with the low-hanging fruit, as the saying goes. So with the low-hanging fruit, we snowballed one department after another, one academic after another, asked more senior academics to mentor the junior ones, and act as role models for the others. Throughout the whole process, we tried to be conscious about the outcomes and the impact on and for others who stayed at home. And lastly, with the strategic partnership team, we spent paradoxically much more time and energy than we expected on communicating among us at home institution than with the international partners. But we learned a lot about ourselves, about each other, about our work, not only from our traveling circus adventure. And at the end of the day, looking back, we created a checklist for ourselves. If our colleagues know what is a strategic partnership, why a partner is a good fit, who at the institution will take the lead, and how they can do it together, we think it's the time to let them take off. For us, we learned along the road that each successful partnership stands on people sharing the same vision, respecting each other, willing to communicate, and work hard in order to achieve a common goal. We would like to acknowledge the supporting advice of our fellow international educators and the incredible work of our Finnish partner, Harri Keurulainen, and dedicate this presentation to the traveling circus people at Mosaic University. On behalf of my colleagues Sonia and Nikki, thank you for your attention. We wish all the best in your internationalization quests.